Water. Out of all of the dangerous substances in the entire universe, the strongest is the one you'd least expect. A mineral that can cause all of us to die, but we need every drop to live. Adapting to literally anything, the universe's Maharaga. How strong is... For 4.5 billion years, water has been at the pinnacle of strength, a shapeless entity that can carve its name into the hardest stone, yet offer the gentlest touch on skin. At its core, water is a simple molecule, 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen. But from this simplicity arises strength that's immeasurable, carving the entire earth. Rocks, mountains, canyons, valleys, and even entire continents get split in half. The Earth's continents weighing 230 quadrillion tons, and water is able to hold up all of it, filling the depths of the Earth's crust. Every single mountain has been sliced simply by water moving forward. Water's buoyancy also extends to the skies, as clouds are nothing more than water vapor lifted high into the heavens. A single cloud can weigh millions of pounds, yet drifts as light as a feather. Water's strength isn't just confined by Earth, its behavior is controlled by forces that reach far beyond our planet. 70% of the Earth is water and is literally being held back by the moon. The 73 quadrillion pound rock with its gravitational pull manipulates the oceans in a constant tug of war, creating the tides that surge beneath the planet itself. The immense force required to move entire oceans across the planet's surface, trying to stop the water from drowning the entire crust, responding to the hand of the moon shaping life on Earth for billions of years. This same tide, when driven by storms and winds, can rise up to form tsunamis, crashing across the lands with absolute strength. Water constantly reminds humanity that it's not even top 10. Water also has a strange duality, as it's able to give life and take it away. It's essential for survival. Without water, no living organism could exist. Making up 60% of our bodies, water is the pulse beneath our skin, the invisible ocean within each of us. It nourishes and sustains, and without it, we're nothing but deserts. Yet water's capacity for destruction is far too evident. During a storm, what begins as a gentle rain can grow into massive floods, uprooting trees and swallowing homes, and erasing the land in mere hours. The true scope of its power is seen when you consider phenomena like hurricanes, where warm water fuels winds capable of leveling cities and reshaping coastlines in days. At a molecular level, water behaves in ways that defy logic itself. Unlike most substances, it expands when it freezes, allowing ice to float, an anomaly that preserves life in cold climates by insulating the water beneath its surface. Its surface tension is so strong that it can support insects walking upon it, yet with enough pressure, water can cut through materials as hard as diamonds, which requires 40 to 60 pounds per square inch of force. It's been part of the cycle of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation for billions of years, constantly shifting from one form to another: vapor, liquid, ice, never truly being erased from existence. The water that fills the oceans today is the exact same water as when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. It has flowed through ancient rivers, filled prehistoric lakes, and been frozen in glaciers that existed long before humanity's ancestors ever took their first breath. When water droplets in the sky collide, produces 100 km per second. In a sense, water is a time traveler, carrying the memories from Earth's past and connecting the present from almost an unfathomable history. And the crazy thing is that water is almost impossible to recreate. The process seems simple, but how hydrogen reacts to oxygen would cause it to explode. But for some reason, our planet's bomb hasn't detonated. Don't tell me that water's been holding back this whole time. Overall, water would scale infinite layers into boundless with irrelevant speed. And shout out to Kyle, who dropped 100 to sponsor this video. In the end, water has come a long way in 1.4 billion years, and 60% of its strength resides in you. Because out of all the liquids on Earth, water has been here the longest. So take a sip It's pretty refreshing when you're the strongest. Fire. In a world of darkness, this element reveals the strongest, a force of nature that cannot be controlled, but its light is beautiful in our eyes, a force that turns cold to ash and burning its power into our minds forever, igniting the spark of life while always threatening to extinguish it. The universe's god of destruction. How strong is... As soon as the earth took its first breath, fire did as well, raging over the planet for billions of years and striking fear in every era. Fire is the element of energy that embodies both creation and destruction, light and darkness. It emerges from the dance of combustion where fuel, oxygen, and heat converge, igniting a phenomena that can scorch the world. Reaching insanely hot temperatures, wildfires can blaze over 1,500 degrees Celsius or 2,732 degrees Fahrenheit, turning all organic matter into dust, an entire forest into ash. When we look up into the sky, asteroids fall from space. A mountain falling 62 miles to Earth's surface weighing millions of tons, falling to the planet at 30 kilometers per second, faster than any bullet ever fired. But Earth has a guardian, as fire ignites the asteroid, blazing like the sun on entry, completely obliterating it before it even comes close. And we think it looks beautiful. Similar to animals with colors that signal danger, fire does the same, as the colors of fire are a warning to anyone who comes close, each hue revealing its overwhelming strength. The vibrant orange and yellow flames like campfires and fireplaces are moderate heat, while blue flames indicate far higher temperatures. A propane torch, which burns around 1,980 degrees Celsius or 3,596 degrees Fahrenheit, white flames are significantly greater. It's often found when materials are being melted or forged, each shade representing a different manifestation of fire's power, an artist's padlet of creation and destruction, with this exact same colorway being similar to stars in space, as each color follows the same pattern. Our sun, a yellow star, burns with heat reaching 6,000 degrees Celsius, completely turning planets near it into scorching rocks. Mercury, being so close to the sun, has a surface temperature reaching 800 degrees Fahrenheit, with Venus being even hotter, as it reaches 870 degrees, which would turn a person to ash in a fraction of a second. But our sun is only moderate in heat. Blue stars are ridiculously hot, being cosmic titans of heat, burning at temperatures that reach upwards of 20 to 50,000 degrees Celsius or 36 to 90,000 degrees Fahrenheit. To put that into perspective, that's over 5 times hotter than the surface of our own sun. Imagine taking the hottest molten lava on Earth around 1,200 degrees Celsius or 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit and cranking the dial until it glows a furious blue. If we could somehow bring even a fragment of a blue star's surface down to Earth, it would incinerate entire cities in an instant, vaporizing anything in its way. The searing heat would make even the core of a nuclear explosion seem like a candle in the wind. Fire, also being a master of disaster, thriving on a diet of combustible materials, wood, plastic, fibers, almost anything that you can think of, turning them into smoke and heat with just a mere spark. Smoke itself being a byproduct of fire that creates a cloud of death, filled with toxic gases and particles that can take away your vision and shrivel up your lungs. It wraps around fire like a blanket, turning what could be a controlled blaze into a life-annihilating situation. The dangers of smoke extend far beyond the reach of a blaze. It can travel for miles, affecting air long after the flames have been extinguished. A single ember from a campfire can float in the wind, igniting a wildfire that can consume thousands of acres, proving that even the tiniest spark sets the stage for fire's strength. If you actually think about it, fire is similar to Broly from Dragon Ball Super, as its strength and size will literally double after each passing minute, and after 8 minutes a fire can grow 64 times from its original spark, which gives life moments to react before it's gone. An element so strong that we need it to survive, but every minute that it stays, it threatens our lives. Overall, fire would scale infinite layers into boundless with irrelevant speed. And shout out to Jason, Kyle, and Dagger who dropped 50 to sponsor this video. Because in the end, once the Earth was formed 1.4 billion years ago, this powerful element was born as well. And now we use its strength to do anything that we desire, because out of every video that I've ever made, this one is actually fire. Air. Out of all of the dangerous elements in the entire universe, one of the strongest is one you can't see. The gas that can cause all of us to die, but we need every breath to live. God's way of creating life. The universe's exhale. How strong is air? Isn't just emptiness, it's an army of invisible warriors. 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, the rest a volatile mix of argon, carbon dioxide, and trace elements. Billions of molecules per breath, colliding at speeds of over 500 meters per second. To the untrained eye, it's nothing, but to science, it's the silent engine of life and death. At sea level, air exerts pressure on everything around us, about 14.7 pounds per square inch. Sounds small? Multiply that across the human body, and that's over 20,000 pounds of force constantly pressing against you. And the only reason that you don't feel it is because you're used to it. But in reality, you're literally being crushed by the sky every second. Now let's scale this up even higher. Air pressure powers hurricanes, the strongest natural weapons on Earth. A Category 5 hurricane can unleash winds over 157 miles per hour or 252 kilometers an hour. The wind doesn't need a blade, it slices with velocity. Wind speed can be a gentle breeze or a planet-punching uppercut. Tornadoes are created when warm, moist air rises and cool air falls, creating a spinning air current inside the cloud. Tornadoes can tear apart cities with speeds over 300 miles per hour. That's enough to launch a truck through a building. Jet streams, high-altitude air rivers flow at over 250 miles per hour, subtly steering the path of storms, weather systems, and even planes. And then there are shock waves. When something moves faster than the speed of sound, 343 meters a second, air slaps reality so hard, Every time a jet breaks the sound barrier, air screams in a thunderous applause. Air has no edges yet cuts like a god. Compressed air when focused can pierce through metal. That's how pneumatic tools and industrial cutters work, not with blades, but with air pressure sharp enough to split atoms of resistance. Have you ever heard of a gas laser? That's air made into light. Light turned into a beam that cuts through concrete. Sandstorms are just air literally kicking up dust and weaponizing it, moving so fast that particles strip paint from walls and flesh from bone. Air doesn't always carry mercy, sometimes it carries teeth. Air is the medium which shock waves travel, explosions expand, and sound is born. No air, no sound, no heat transfer, no breath, no life. Air is the gatekeeper of respiration, the reason mitochondria keeps your blood humming with energy. Every breath you take is a pact with the unseen king, and every exhale is a prayer sent back to the atmosphere. Air can hold up 1.2 million pound steel birds in the sky, and even more impressive, the clouds themselves. The average cumulus cloud weighs over 1 million pounds or 500 tons. That's the weight of 100 fully loaded African elephants suspended in the sky, just hovering over your head like it's nothing. So how do they float? It's air, but not just any air, an atmospheric ballet of physics and unseen forces. You see, clouds are made up of tiny water droplets or ice crystals that spread across miles. These droplets are microscopic, and even though they weigh a lot collectively, they spread out so thinly and evenly that the surrounding air pressure keeps them buoyant. Volcanoes erupt, air spreads the ash, stars explode, the remnants pass through cosmic gas. Even the Big Bang happened in a sea of subatomic particles, many of which would later become the foundations of what we call air. Even the strongest punch, whether from a boxer or literally anyone else, means nothing if it doesn't cut through air first. A nuclear bomb detonating in a vacuum would be all bark and no bite. But with air, that's a 2-kiloton slap that shatters glass 10 kilometers away and liquefies organs from shockwave reverberation. That's air being weaponized. That's the invisible becoming invincible. In mythology, gods use wind to part the skies and level kingdoms. In reality, the jet stream has more energy than 10,000 nuclear bombs, constantly reshaping the skies. Air can fuel wildfires, snuff out candles, lift steel, or suffocate armies. No matter who or what you are, one thing is in common. Air is always part of the equation. We need it to survive, but in the wrong conditions, it's our executioner. You can drown in water. It's not the liquid that kills you, it's the lack of air. Climb too high and the air thins out, you'll beg for it, but suffocate in its absence. Go too deep, and the pressure of its silence will crush your bones. It simply stops giving, and you stop living. But air doesn't need to leave you to destroy you. It can stab you in the back. Hypoxia or too much oxygen can corrode your lungs. The bends, nitrogen poisoning from rapid decompression can bubble your blood. Winds moving over 200 miles an hour can tear limbs like paper. It shapes continents, carries sound, spreads heat, cycles water, and lifts steel birds into heaven. It wears down mountains grain by grain. It spins entire planets on its back. Air is entropy in disguise, wearing the mask of serenity. It fuels fires, feeds oceans, and guides storms, but can suffocate, shred, and erase. It's not malevolent, but it's not merciful either. It's indifferent, the perfect balance of creation and collapse. But air extends far beyond just our world. On Venus, the atmosphere here crushes you at 92 times the pressure of Earth. That's like being 3,000 feet under the ocean, but you're walking on land. Walk on Venus, and the air doesn't just sit on you. It crushes, melts, and burns. Made of mostly carbon dioxide with sulfuric acid clouds above, now entering into the realm of the gods. Jupiter, no solid ground, just layers upon layers of crushing gas. As you fall deeper, the air grows denser and more violent until it becomes liquid under pressure. The winds on Jupiter rage at 300 plus miles an hour, endless hurricanes the size of Earth itself, like the Great Red Spot, a storm that's been howling for centuries. But this is air, still holding back. Overall, air would scale to boundless with irrelevant speed. And shout out to Cole who dropped 50 to sponsor this video. In the end, this is the power we take in with every breath, because this strength is something you literally don't see every day. And all of creation needs it to exist, because out of all of the elements, this one can blow away the sun. So take a deep breath, because that was your last one. Earth. Out of all the unstoppable forces in the entire universe, one of the strongest doesn't float or fly, it waits. The element that buries us in death is the same soil that keeps us alive. God's blueprint, the universe's anchor. How strong is... Before it held oceans or bore cities, Earth was a wild symphony of chaos. In the beginning, there was stardust, remnants of dead stars, cosmic ashes left from supernovas detonating across the void, like the heartbeat of God. The dust didn't drift away, it collided. Gravity pulled the particles together like destiny calling soldiers to war. Each impact added heat, pressure, and of course the purpose to make the best planet in the entire universe. 4.5 billion years ago, a spinning disk of solar fire and debris gave birth to the planet we now call home. It wasn't smooth, it was forged like a blade. Oceans of magma crushed in silence, iron fell like rain, and the young Earth grew by swallowing smaller planets and asteroids asteroids like a cosmic feeding frenzy. And now billions of years later, the Earth became the strongest. But this isn't some passive pile of dirt. This is the primordial armor of the universe. Earth is the element that holds the weight of empires on its shoulders and still stands unshaken. It is the battlefield, the weapon, and the shield. It doesn't beg to be noticed. It dares you to try and move it. And if you're foolish enough to try, you better pray it doesn't wake. You see, the Earth is the skeleton of reality, the bones beneath our feet. The element that breaks kings and lifts civilizations, from the shifting plates that cause continents to collide, to the mountain ranges that stab the sky like stone titans, frozen in time. You ever felt an earthquake? That's the Earth reminding everything above it that it still rules below. One heave from the crust, and entire cities crumble like castles made of sand. Earthquakes release energy equivalent to 1,000 nuclear bombs. The 2011 Japan quake shifted the planet on its axis, proving that even the slightest movements can cause everything around it to bow. Speaking of its axis, the Earth takes 24 hours to make a 360-degree turn, meaning the Earth would be rotating at 1,040 miles per hour. And the reason you don't feel like you're going fast is because you're moving with the Earth, similar to being inside of a car. But the thing is that Earth is showing us mercy, because if it decided to stop rotating, everything around us would go flying into outer space. And then there's its pressure. Dig deep enough and you'll hit magma. Go deeper and the weight of the planet will crush steel like wet tissue. The core of the Earth, a solid spear of iron spinning in the sea of molten fire. Temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. That's the heart of the Earth, burning and unstoppable. But Earth is more than just destruction. It's creation, the element that feeds every tree, births every stone, cradles every seed. Without Earth, there is no growth, no ground to stand on, no graves to return to. Earth gives life by holding it. Trees erupt from it, mountains anchor it, even water, even fire, and even air itself must obey the borders Earth sets. This element is an ancient craftsman. Volcanic eruptions forge new lands. Continental drift reshapes the map of the world over millions of years. Entire mountain ranges like the Himalayas are created by tectonic plates pushing against one another with the forces of gods at war. And here's something poetic. The Earth doesn't move often, but when it does, everything listens. It's the immovable object and the unstoppable force. It holds up skyscrapers and swallows them when it's angry. It hugs the oceans, contains the flames, and anchors the air. It's not loud, it's the law. Now think about this. Every step you've ever taken, every breath you've ever drawn, happened because the Earth allowed it. Even clouds, those skybound giants that weigh millions of pounds, float thanks to the balance between Earth's gravity and the upward force of air. Without Earth's gravitational grip, they'd scatter into the void. And even on other worlds that exist beyond our planet, Earth still reigns. The Martian surface is red dust and iron-rich silence. Jupiter's core, theorized to be made of metallic hydrogen, presses down with the forces that make our deepest trenches feel like playgrounds. Earth element isn't just what we see here. It's the universal blueprint for solid force. Wherever there's mass, there's Earth. What's even cooler than this is that Earth carries fossils older than memory, minerals that fuel civilizations, and metals that make gods out of men. Diamonds are born from pressure, gold is birthed from the belly of dying stars and captured in Earth's crust. Every empire built on a throne of soil, every war ended with someone kissing the dirt. Earth teaches the final lesson. Everything that flies, burns, or flows must come down. Earth is the endgame, the element that doesn't chase glory, because it's the stage where glory is tested, and where the flames flicker out, and the storms become clear, the skies go silent, and what remains? Earth itself. Earth is the great paradox, the mother and the reaper. It cradles forest in its soil, lets rivers flow like veins on its surface, and offers mountains as the bones that hold up the heavens. Every tree that breathes, every beast that walks, every empire that dares to rise, are all fed by Earth's hands. But just as it gives, it takes away. One shift of its tectonic spine and cities crumble like sandcastles, one volcanic breath, and the skies turn black with fire. Earth doesn't need wrath to kill, it just moves. The same ground that grows your food can open wide and swallow your entire legacy. Because Earth is not a place, it's a power, one that gives life freely and buries it just as fast. Overall, Earth would scale to boundless with irrelevant speed. And shout out to Hans who dropped $250 to sponsor the final element. I really hope you enjoyed it. In the end, Earth is the cradle and the coffin, the throne and the tomb, the last punch thrown when all else has passed. Because out of all of them, only one can stand at the top, and that's where it stays, creating an element so strong, it took God 6 whole days. What's up guys, it's Divine. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And if you want to sponsor a video just like this one, I have my Cash App linked in the description where you can sponsor your very own video. And make sure you guys go join the Discord where you can let me know what video you'd like to see. And if you want to just chill out with me and Kasi. But let me know down in the comments which one of my element videos is your favorite and which element do you think is the strongest. And let me know down in the comments, out of the countless elements that you know, who can defeat the anchor of the universe, Earth.